What's going on, everybody? My name is Ryan, and today I'm going to show you what is in my backpack for when I'm traveling, doing any sort of paid gig, portraiture, any sort of sports, anything really. This is the bag I'm going to bring and everything inside of it. So let's get into it. So the first thing I need to talk about, obviously, is the bag itself. This is the Lowepro Fastpack 250, and it's a really durable bag. I've had it for about 1.5 years now. And it's not falling apart at the seams or anything like that, like other bags I've had in the past. Really durable. It's a little bit larger than your average backpack, and it has some really good features to it, but it also has some really bad ones. As far as space goes, though, I feel like there's a lot of space, but it's kind of awkwardly placed. For the size of the bag, I feel like I can fit just as much gear, if not more, in a normal backpack. But that could be the way I have the divider set up and things like that. But overall, it's a great bag. It has a lot of cushion in the back and a lot of support on the straps itself. And you can see here, you have a chest clip and a waist clip, which is removable actually. So I can cram a lot of stuff in here, throw it in my bag, clip it on, and be good to go, whether it be hiking, just walking around, or just laying around, really. It works great. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of this, which is going to be the main gear. So I have it in this lower section here, and it's really nice because if I wanted to, I can unzip it just like this. Here, I'll prop it up on me. And then you can open up, I can easily switch a lens if I have to. A lot of times if I have two bodies, I'll either put it in here and then be able to switch really quickly. So we unzip these. You can see here's most of my equipment. So first of all, the body I'm using is the Nikon D750. It's an older full frame body from Nikon, but it's still one of the most reliable cameras out there. It's a great value for like quality to budget ratio. It has a really famous sensor for dynamic range. Super great. I've had no troubles with it at all. I absolutely love it. And then with that camera, I actually have the Tamron 70-200. I absolutely love this for shooting sports and portraits. From what I've read online, it's just as good as the older Nikon 70-200 2.8. So I just couldn't spend the extra $1,200 to upgrade lenses. It's been great for me. It's my newest Nikon lens that I purchased, and I absolutely love it. The only issue I've had with it is focusing every once in a while. It'll just stop. And every time I tend to pull it out of the bag, something like one of these switches here, these switches are always off. I don't know why. Like, I've pulled this out of the bag like 3 times now and it's been on manual focus. I don't know why it happens. It's just one of those quirky little things. A little embarrassing when you're in front of a client trying to figure out why your lens isn't working, but it's still fantastic value, worth the price. Been extremely impressed with the quality. So my second lens is going to be the 24-70 Nikon 2.8. This is the older version without VR. At the time of purchase, it was the newest one. And then about 6 months later, they released a new one. So a little upset about that, but this one has been my tried and true lens that I shoot 90% of my photos on. It is fantastic. It has lasted me forever. I've had this lens so long that I used to have it on my previous camera, which was a Nikon D7100, a little crop sensor camera. I absolutely love this thing. I've beat it to bits. I've banged it up against glaciers. I've gone hiking in it. I've banged it on rides in Disneyland. I've really done all with it, and it's still in fantastic shape. It still focuses perfectly, no problems at all. The only minor thing I've done to it is I've bent the filter ring a little bit, but other than that, it's been a really great tried and true lens. And then also in this main section here, I have a wireless receiver and a flash, with a few little accessories, as you can see. This flash is just a Yongnuo YN 560 5. I don't know. It's a really cheap flash that you can find on Amazon, and then also the receiver to go with it. I don't use flash very often, so it's just like just in case it's in my bag. I probably haven't used it much. I mostly use the flashes for things like studio work, flat lays, blog stuff. I really don't use them for like portraits or unpaid gigs too often. They've always worked for me. They've been very reliable. There was one time I was doing headshots, had around 150 people, and these flashes were just kept banging away, no problems at all. They ran through the batteries pretty quick, but otherwise they've been great. So that's all there is in my main compartment. That's the meat and potatoes. Let's get into the more detailed stuff. So the first section I'm gonna get into is going to be the sub pocket right outside of the main pocket. So this little guy, I keep an extra set of batteries with the charger just in case I need to charge the flash batteries. I also keep a set in the flash just in case I need to pull it out really quick, and then it's always good to have a backup. And also in here, I like to keep my little carrying case that has all my SD cards. I use a variety of brands of SD cards. The ones I've been most happy with though are the Lexar cards, which you can still find on Amazon, but they're no longer actively making cards. So I'm super bummed about that. Though when I need new cards, I will be trying out ProGrade Digital. There's supposed to be basically some people from SanDisk and some people from Lexar left and started their own company. So apparently they're supposed to be better than the Lexar cards. The reason I like Lexar over SanDisk is I've had way too many SanDisk cards break on me. I've never had that issue with the Lexar card. So, and by breaking I mean like splitting apart, and it's really freaky, and it's like terrifying because I'm constantly unplugging from the camera, plugging into the computer, and tossing them around. So I really need good, reliable cards. So that part is covered up by this little guy right here. In case it ever rains, just makes it a more secure pocket. It also secures this midsection in case I need to get a lens out of this compartment. So on to the next thing. It's going to be this top front pouch. In here, I generally just keep like necessities and quick things. So if I'm traveling, that's going to be passport, boarding pass. Right now I have my Apple Watch in here because this is actually extremely helpful on shoots. Nothing is more like distracting and unprofessional than pulling out your phone during a shoot and having to reply to a text message really quick. With this, or not even replying, just looking at a text message. With this, I can keep track of how much time I'm spending with the client. I can also, if I needed to, check the weather, see if it's gonna rain in the next hour or so. I can also just stay in tune with what's going on around me. So if I get a emergency text from the girlfriend, I'm able to stop what I'm doing, reply, and take care of that without having to pull up my phone. And it's amazing. It's so nice to have. Second, it's just my wallet, just a placeholder to show like when I'm traveling, I'll keep the necessities in here, passport, boarding pass, all that good stuff. And then we will head over to the side of the bag. So on the side of the bag here, I usually keep my tripod. The two tripods I travel with is this Joby right here. My Manfrotto travel tripod. I don't know the name of it and I don't know where it is right now, but normally that'll be on the side again for shooting hiking landscapes mainly is the reason I'm gonna have a tripod. The Joby's taking place right now, and this Joby's a little special because it has a Manfrotto quick release plate on it. So basically, I only use Manfrotto tripods, and this was my only non-Manfrotto tripod. So I had to buy a little release plate, so the same plate that connects to this tripod that the camera's on right now, this tripod that the camera's on right now, and my other tripod all do the same thing, and they're quick release. I just pop it off and go. Never have to worry about unscrewing plates and things like that. Saves me a ton of time, especially when I'm like things are in a rush and frantic. You know how it goes. All right, so now we're gonna get into the main compartment here, or the top secondary compartment, whatever you want to call it. Now, as you can see, when you look at it at first, it's going to be quite open. The reason for this is where I'm going to store things unique to the shoot that day. Maybe I'm in the middle of the desert, need a water bottle. Maybe I'm in a studio and need some gaff tape. Maybe I'm traveling and I need clothes. This is where all this is gonna go. It's a lot of free space, which is kind of more to a true backpack fashion. It can be really great, but it can also be really hard because it's hard to get to whatever's on the bottom when you have so many things stacked on top. But within this, I have some other little pockets here. In this first pocket, I keep my polarizing filter. Again, this is mainly for landscapes. Just keep a polarizing filter so I can darken those blue skies, which actually helps out a lot in your landscape photos. If you're looking for something that you don't have to think too much about or spend too much money on, but you want your landscape photos to look better, especially for like not midday, but like early morning sun and things like that when it's just a clear blue, polarizing filter will help you out for that. Standard thing, just a Sharpie, just in case I have to write anything down. Then in this little pocket here, I keep my batteries. I have 2 extra batteries for my Nikon. I could probably use a 4th, but never know, just in case. I try to keep them fully charged, but it's hard. Thankfully though, the Nikon D750 has a fantastic battery life. I can go days usually without having to charge the camera. There's only select few events where I've really had to hot swap batteries in and out. Fantastic battery life out of the Nikon though. Alright, so in this inner pocket here, I have a battery bank. This is just in case I have to charge my phone, I have to charge anything really. I keep a lightning cable and a micro USB to go with it. This battery bank is, I believe it's 20,000 milliamp hours. So it is massive and definitely weighs a ton. But it's one of those things when you're traveling, you're on the go constantly, especially if you're hiking or on a multiple day shoot, you don't want to have, this is the last thing you think about charging at the end of the night. A lot of times all the outlets will be taken up by camera batteries and things like that. So it's nice to not have to worry about it and charge it at the end of every day. And then of course I keep a little extra end body and front, I don't know what this is even called. I guess it's called a front body cap. Just in case, for whatever reason, I'm keeping my camera off a lens, and it's always nice to have an extra end to a lens. And I also have battery charger. I only carry one, just because, like I said, the Nikon batteries are so great. I can usually leave one charging in the room or leave one charging on set, and then swap in between 1 or 2 if I have to. And that is pretty much it, except for the final thing, which runs everything at the end of the day, which will be my laptop. So I have a 2015 MacBook Pro with i7, 16 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte SSD. This thing is a workhorse. It has been fantastic for me. I've never had any issues with it. It's just super nice. The Retina display is fantastic. I got it quite a few years ago, so that's why it's not a newer one, but I'm kind of hesitant to upgrade to anything newer than 2015 because I really love having the built-in SD card slot and also having all these USB ports and an HDMI port on it is fantastic. Really try to keep my bag slim and light just so I can adapt it to any sort of situation. And with those new MacBooks, man, it is so hard because you have to have adapters on adapters on adapters on adapters, and it is quite a pain. So I'm a little hesitant to upgrade. This thing is still fantastic. I am by no means using this processor to its full extent with my current workload, so there's no need to upgrade soon. And yeah, so that about wraps it up, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this gave you a little inside look on what I'm carrying around day of shoot. There's not much in here, honestly. I try to keep it slimmed down and enough room for, I want to say room for air, but that's not true. A room for certain things equivalent to the job, just in case I need to bring gaff tape, water bottle, clothes. I can just throw it in here, and I like to keep it consistent. So this is what's on me 99% of the time. If you want to check out my gear for Disneyland and when I go to the Disney parks, go and click up there. It's a completely different setup. It's not even the same camera that I showed you here. It's actually a Sony camera, and it may or may not be a new Sony camera. So go ahead and click on that video, check it out. If you are a fan of slim, minimalistic setups, that is going to be it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day.